You had a really unique and interesting summer last year because I don't think most people realize it unless you're kind of really close to the program. More than likely, you would have been drafted in the NBA a season ago. You made the difficult decision to come back, and it seems to be paying off for you with not only you guys undefeated up at this point of the season, you look like you got a chance to compete for a national title, but also you put everything together individually. How hard was that decision for you, and what were the determining factors?
Yeah, it was super tough, and part of it, or the reason why it was the toughest was because you didn't really know what 2 months from when I made the decision was going to look like. There wasn't that kind of surefire schedule or surefire timeline that I could base myself off of. It was kind of at the end of the day, I could just gather all the information I could and then just make that leap of faith. So, every game that we play and every opponent we put on the schedule is just a reassurance for me that I made the right choice. I can go out there and prove myself, to be the player that I think I can be, especially at the next level. And my game has grown so much over the last 6 months, and I'm really thankful that I can show that off, on the college floor, where I feel the most comfortable, and hopefully that'll pay dividends, going 5-10 years down the road.
Is there a current NBA player or maybe also a former Gonzaga player that you kind of model your game after? Like you watch, you pick apart different things, whether it's footwork, whether it's attack moves or moving without the ball?
Yeah, I mean it's always been Klay Thompson. Ever since he graduated from Wazoo, the way he moves out the ball is just special. He gets his feet set and he's square no matter if his back's turned to the basket or wherever he's moving. I think whenever I'm in a slump or whenever I feel kind of not so great about my game, I watch the highlight reel of him like scoring 60 on like 12 dribbles, and I feel like that just kind of gets me going. I don't know. I feel like that's the kind of player that I can really strive to be, especially at the next level. That's the way the NBA is trending, is just having a bunch of guys like that on the floor. So he's just like the dream, the highest ceiling, the gold standard for me as a player. Always has been.
Well, with the efficiency that you talk about in watching Klay Thompson, you guys have that kind of sixth sense at times on the court when you guys are really clicking. Are there stretches where Coach Few really just kind of takes a step back and lets you guys play out of concepts as far as instead of play calls?
Yeah, I mean that's what the whole offense is based off of. Everything we run is just like a simple ball screen or moving a little bit and to get into something else, and then you just play. If the first action isn't there, then we kind of just rely on our instincts and our concepts to get open looks. And it's worked really well for us because we got guys who can really play the game. And Jalen's made huge strides, all year long and just thinking the game. Andrew's already really, really good at it, and Joel's been great at it for a while. And so, with those guys handling the ball most often, it makes things really easy for guys like me and Drew to, find open looks and get our buckets because, we just play so well together and we play off each other really well.
All right, so give me Coach Few's recruiting pitch to you when you were a high school kid. I knew you were just outside the Seattle area, played for Friends of Hoop, which is a really good AAU program. I can imagine there was a lot of other schools, but what was Coach Few like during recruiting?
He's like Corey. Just think about it, man. Like look at the guys that have come through before you. Like you're a Zach. Like you're about the right things. You play the game the right way. You care about winning, and those are the pillars that we build our program off of. And he told me that, in 3-4 years, he could see me being a guy on the team, like a really, a big player, a big time guy. And also it was really important for me to play right away. And he told me that I had if I stepped in and did my job, I had a really good chance of, being a contributor right away. And, being and coming here, like you mentioned earlier, every year for team camp, I got to see what this was about. I played pickup with the guys, I played pickup with you, and I got to see kind of what that dynamic was like. And, it was really special. And, he didn't have to really pitch much. He didn't really have to recruit me much. It was kind of a, hey, I'll go check out the other schools and see if anything surprises me. But if not, it's kind of a shoe in deal.
Well, you've made a pretty good decision. You've made a heck of a career out of it for you. What would it mean to you to be an All-American? Because there's been a number of All-Americans out of GU over the last 20 years or so. But again, that's a special accolade. It's a special award.
Yeah, that'd be huge, man. And, I don't want to get it too much into kind of my own personal, career and my own personal accolades and stuff, but that's kind of like the benchmark for a really, really good college player. That's kind of what you look back on and you check and see. And if you check that box, no matter, what team you're on, well, first team, second team, third team, whatever. Like that's top 15 players in the country, and that's super special. And it's just it's just been something that I've been kind of had my eye on for a while and really working hard towards. And that's been kind of a goal of mine since, the season ended last year. I really wanted to work towards that. So it's really special to be in this position, and I got to keep performing in order to get there. It's not signed and sealed yet, but to kind of get that at the end of the year would be a really special thing, especially for me and all the work I put in and all the stuff I've been through over the 4 years.
Well, you're definitely trending in that direction, and you're in strong consideration for National Player of the Year, and that would be awesome to have a fellow Zag win that award. I know you got to get going to practice in a couple minutes, but a couple last questions. These are quick hitters. On this year's current team, who's the funniest guy?
Drew Timmy.
Hands down?
It's not even close. It's the easiest question I think you've asked me all day long, and just because – I mean, the mustache he wears is just an outer representation of who he is on the inside. It's just, he's spontaneous. You don't know what's coming out of his mouth, and he's super, super funny to go along with how talented he is.
Can you give me that mustache impersonation one more time? Best dressed Zag, because I know ever since Nigel Williams-Goss and those guys have been around, it's become a big deal around the program.
Yeah, Nigel and Jeremy set the standard. I think Julian probably takes that. I think he is in fashion the most. Aaron Cook is a sneaky candidate though as well. He acts like he's not about it, but I think he's got some drip for sure.